Hey guys, and welcome back to the Jared Report, where we discuss everything that we love, pop culture, from movies to TV shows. Today, I thought it would be really fun to just kind of discuss some of my most anticipated movies coming for the second half of 2026. We're finally returning to pre-COVID box office level. And so far in 2026, we've had some pretty good films. So I would like to give you my top five, my most anticipated movies. But before I get to that, there are a handful of honorable mentions that didn't quite make the list, but I still wanted to discuss. My first honorable mention, Evil Dead Burn. Now, if you had seen any other videos on my channel, you will know that I am super excited for this film. I loved the what was it, like 2022 or 2023 Evil Dead movie that had just came out a few years ago. I love the direction that they took. It looks like we're going to continue that, but this time it's kind of centered around family. It looks just absolutely bonkers and crazy and just creepy. And that's what I want out of a horror movie. One of my most anticipated horror movies of the year, but it just didn't quite crack my top five. Another one of my honorable mentions is Supergirl. I was a lot more excited about this movie when I had initially heard about it. And then we had got our first trailer, like a few months ago. And I didn't really love the trailer as much as I was hoping to. I loved Superman that we just got last year. It was amazing, and I'm looking forward to where James Gunn is taking the DC universe. And honestly, this movie probably was going to be on my top five most anticipated movies of 2026 if if I had not seen the trailer. Now, what is so wrong with the trailer? I don't know if it's the tone or the storyline that they're trying to take with it, but it just felt very Guardians of the Galaxy to me. And don't get me wrong, I love Guardians of the Galaxy. Those are some of the greatest Marvel films. But I just don't know how I feel about it being in a Supergirl movie. Now, I might be wrong, it might be an absolutely amazing film, but I don't love the tone. I just don't love the feel. But obviously, like, I'm gonna still go see it, and it is still making my honorable mentions. And I am hoping nothing but the best for James Gunn's new universe. Anyway, another one of my honorable mentions is Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day, which is actually coming out very, very soon in the next 2 weeks. Not much to say other than this is a Steven Spielberg movie. Obviously, we're going to go see it. It looks interesting. It has aliens in it. Sign me up. I actually have a lot of movies to see in June. This week, we're going to see Scary Movie 5. We'll go see Disclosure Day the next week after that. And then the next week after that, I'm going to take my daughter to go see Toy Story 5. And then we'll have Supergirl at the end of the month. So there's a lot of good stuff coming out in June. Disclosure Day is another one of my honorable mentions. Final honorable mention, and some of you are probably going to be upset that this is not in the top five. And I wanted it to be, but I think it's going to be a good movie. It'll be a return to Marvel's form. But my final honorable mention, which just missed the top five, is Spider-Man Brand New Day. Listen, obviously, all of the Marvel Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland have been very solid. And this one, it looks great. I'm excited for it, obviously. Spider-Man is starting out by himself. No one remembers him because of the events that happened in No Way Home, which is all very interesting. I just haven't seen anything in the trailers that have particularly wowed me. And we'll have the Punisher in there. John Bernthal will return as Punisher, um, which I've never watched like Daredevil or Punisher, any of the Netflix stuff. I know there's some new stuff on Disney Plus as well. Just not really a big fan of those series, and I've never watched them. So they'll have that aspect into it, which a lot of people are gonna love and be excited about. But yeah, there's just nothing that is making me really, really excited for this movie other than Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I mean, obviously, we're not going to miss that. So let's get into my top five. Coming in at number five is The End of Oak Street, which comes out on August 14th. Now, this movie was not on my radar at all, but I had heard about it a few months ago, and then we got our first trailer that came out a few months ago as well. And I am just super excited for this movie. You got Ewan McGregor and Anne Hathaway that are going to be starring in this movie. The whole premise seems interesting. You know, obviously, we've done dinosaurs a million times, but there's just something about this trailer and the premise of the whole movie. You know, there's this suburban family. I think it takes place in like the 70s or something like that, you know, just living their normal life. And then one day, something happens to the neighborhood and they wake up in this alternate world where dinosaurs are roaming. And you put dinosaurs in anything, sign me up. You got Ewan McGregor in a movie, sign me up. I am really excited for this movie, and it is making my top five at number five. My number four, I have the new Resident Evil that's coming out September 18th. Zach Krager is returning, and I am a huge fan of his work. He also had made Barbarian and Weapons, which were just amazing horror movies. You know, they're not your typical horror movies. They have a lot of comedy elements, just some like out of left field shit that happens. So I was super excited to hear that he is taking on this Resident Evil project. I know a lot of people weren't loving the first trailer that we got for this movie just because it doesn't look, and he's already mentioned this. He is not following any game, anything to a T. It's kind of an original story that he's coming up with. It's going to have all those Resident Evil elements that we love. And I could just tell from the trailer, you know, you have this guy looking for keys that he's trying to pull off. He's opening drawers, like just these small elements that we know and love about the Resident Evil games. And Zach Krager is putting his own spin on it. I am super excited. That first trailer, like I saw that and I was like, oh man, I cannot wait. It is my number one anticipated horror movie of the year. I think it's going to be amazing, and I'm just really excited to see where he takes it. Coming in at number three is Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, coming out July 17th. Obviously, it is Christopher Nolan. You know, this guy, he knows how to make a movie, and I have loved all of his movies. The only one that I didn't particularly like was the Tenant film that he had come out, which was like right around COVID. That was probably my least favorite project of his, but it's Christopher Nolan. Like this guy, he knows how to make a solid movie. He makes some of the best movies in Hollywood. And then when I heard he is making a Greek inspired movie based on Homer's Odyssey, oh, you know, sign me up. I was super excited. I love Greek mythology. I love the history of Greece. So when you start talking about those things, you already have my attention. And that is right around the corner in July. So I am super excited for the Odyssey. Now, before I get into my one and two most anticipated movies, obviously, I think both of these are going to be in everyone's top five list. You know, like these are going to be peak cinema. So really, it's just kind of which order do you want to put them in? Coming in at number two is Avengers Doomsday, which releases December 18th. Obviously, it is an Avengers film, even though Marvel has kind of been on a downward slope the last 5 or 6 years. Uh, there's never been a bad Avengers movie. So I am very much excited and expecting for this movie to hit on all cylinders. But I'll tell you why it's not my number one, because Marvel is probably the best franchise out there. Like, obviously, I am a huge Star Wars fan, love Star Wars, but there's just something about that era of Marvel from 2008 to 2019 or 99% of the movies they put out were just banger after banger after banger. So we are returning to that form, I feel like. But here's the thing. Here's why it's my number two. We haven't had any buildup to this Avengers movie. And it's the first one of its kind. Because all the other Avenger films, we have had buildup, we've had movies that cohesively built up to those moments. But the past, what, 6 years, we've just been getting all these random side projects, things that have happened, um, just just like one-off character movies or TV shows. And we haven't built up to this Avengers movie. So I feel like it hasn't been 100% earned, but they're getting everyone back, the band is back together. We are getting Chris Evans as Captain America is coming back. Robert Downey Jr. is going to return, but this time as Doom. And I'm really excited because the Russo brothers were saying that the events in Endgame play directly into this movie. So I'm kind of interested to see where they take all of this. And I know a lot of people kind of split the fan base, not really excited for Robert Downey Jr. to be playing Doom, but I think it's a fresh new take. Obviously, like if we could have had Victor Von Doom as like the big bad, that would be really nice. But I'm not totally against him playing Doctor Doom. But that is my number two. My number one, Dune Part 3, coming December 18th. Man, what can I say? Like I am so excited for this movie. I have been looking forward to this ever since the second one came out, 2 years ago. The direction that Denis Villeneuve takes with these movies is just an absolute cinematic masterpiece. The first one was a great film. The second one just raised the bar even higher and was one of my most favorite movies that I had ever seen. So when I heard we were getting a part three, which plays on Dune Messiah, I couldn't wait. And then we got our first trailer. Oh my God, this movie looks like it is going to be a spectacle. And I cannot wait. I am looking forward to this movie way more than Avengers Doomsday. But let me tell you what, everyone is talking about Dune's Day because both these movies are coming out on the same day. I am doing back to back, baby. I want to see Dune and then I want to go see Avengers Doomsday. This is going to be an amazing day. And right before Christmas, man, I cannot wait. But anyway, guys, I thought it would be fun to let you know my top five. What are your top five? Are you most excited for Doomsday? Um, are you not putting a weird movie like The End of Oak Street in your top five? Let me know down in the comment section below your most anticipated movies for the year. And if you're new to this channel, please like and subscribe this video if you want to see more content like this. I will see you guys on the next Jared Report. Adios, my friends.